Ready?
Yeah.
Should we do the same?
Let's do it.
All right.
Welcome
Tom and Steve Show.
on the air. Follow us on Twitter.
Yeah, Tom and Steve Show. Yeah, you betcha.
Subscribe.
Please.
Listen.
Yeah.
Get our feed. Stay up to date.
Know what the hell's going on in the world.
Enjoy the show.
You betcha. Morning.
Morning.
Hey.
Podcast number 3.
Right on. Hey, Tommy. How are you, buddy?
Good, man. Thanks for getting me fired up this morning.
Well, you know, it's been a busy week.
You're impassioned about some stuff.
We've had a busy fucking week. One of the first times in a lot of years we have a chance to replace a Supreme Court justice.
That doesn't happen every day.
That doesn't happen every decade.
Yeah, true.
Okay.
Sometimes longer, right?
Sometimes longer.
Because it's a lifelong position
Yes,
that you hold.
That's
Once you're
correct.
appointed,
Forever. The job forever.
Once you're appointed by a president,
That's right.
you're in there till you croak off or just decide to step down.
And ask Ruth Bader Ginsburg how long that is. 'Cause
Long time.
Long time. So, to Anthony Scalia, we'd like to say safe travels in whatever future journeys you have.
Thank you for your service.
Thank you for your service. You were one of the great law minds of the 20th century. You helped.
He was like a law scholar.
He was a law scholar, and he was a good man. Whether you agreed with his positions or not, there's no denying he was a good man, and he loved this country, and he wanted to do his job.
I would say agreed.
Okay.
On all those
and
points.
his job was to not make law. His job was to interpret the existing laws. And one of the things that he said most passionately is if you don't like the law, change it. And then they have the ability to enforce the new regulations and things. Mm-hmm. Now, I find that to be the epitome of what you do as an American. If you don't like something, you go to your legislature, you do your best to enact a law that you do like, one that does work, you vote on it, everybody gets a chance to speak their mind, and the vote goes where it's supposed to go. To the House to be discussed, and then to the Senate to be ratified, and then eventually becomes a law.
Right.
Now,
So there's a lot of scuttle right now going on. I'm thinking from the conservative side of the aisle that Obama should not appoint a Supreme Court justice and let it be the next elected president's job to do that.
so what if the next elected person to do that is Hillary Clinton?
Well, I was even thinking of a worse than
Or Bernie Sanders?
Donald Trump.
Or Donald Trump.
I mean,
All right.
I don't want Donald Trump.
Here's the reality of it. Okay, Mitch McConnell, who... don't get me started. You people out there in Tennessee...
But he's not even a player in the...
He is a huge player in this.
You think he's got a chance of winning the Democratic ticket?
No, he has a huge player in whether or not we're deciding on the next Supreme Court justice.
What's his job?
He's given operating orders to all of the GOP to filibuster and block anybody President Obama brings forward. Anybody. It doesn't matter who
he's a
it was.
Republican.
Yes, of course.
Oh, I thought he was a Democrat running for
Mitch
president.
McConnell?
Yeah.
Bubba, you've got to get out more. Okay? No, he is the head of the GOP in the Senate.
Okay.
He is the majority leader. Okay?
Okay. And so
So his law, the direction of the Conservative Party, the blockage, I think one of the first things he said.
So
when
I thought
Obama
the
was
president
elected-
just touched someone on the shoulder and that was it. They were a judge.
Oh, no, baby. No. Here's how it works.
Okay.
The president gets a list of nominees. All
It's
right?
a list. From where?
Well, I'm sure from his own dealings
I
with
mean, you have to
people.
be an attorney, right?
You got to be a sitting judge. You know?
Okay.
So,
You can't
or
just
a
be
retired.
senator.
No, you can't be a senator or anything like that. You have to be a judiciary. Okay? That judiciary is then put forth to be vetted by the Senate. The Senate then ratifies the nomination, and that person is then set forward to move forward. Okay?
Okay.
Now, what the Republicans are basically saying is they don't want Obama to pick a Supreme Court justice because anybody he picks is going to be more liberal than they want, because what they would really rather have is a military, just
conservative,
super conservative, step out of line, will blow your head off type society.
Make abortion illegal.
Yeah, make everything illegal except what they want to do, okay, which I find just the most hypocritical piece of shit you could ever be. How do you run around and say, I want less government, but I am going to make sure you don't have any choices about shit, about that you don't have any voice in what you're doing. We're going to gerrymander precincts so that you can't vote.
Yes.
We're going to do all kinds of wild shit. Well, if you want smaller government, okay, and the freedom of people to have choices, okay, and you're all about, people standing up on their own 2 feet and doing their job and putting their best effort forward, how the hell do you look us people in the face and say, I'm going to make sure that 25% of President Obama's the last year in office, 300 some days, that nothing gets done? If you showed up to work and told your boss that, hey, guess what, boss? I'm going to do everything I can to make sure we are completely unproductive for the next 12 months.
Not only am I not going to do
but I'm going to make sure nobody else does their job either. He'd fire your freaking ass right there on the spot, and for good reason. We put these people forward to do their job. Right. And their job is to ratify or come up for a reason why not. And it can't always be, because that guy picked him. Grow the fuck up.
Very true.
Dude, this is
Very
like
true.
watching elementary school. Well, he picked him, so I don't want to. Dude, you're a sitting fucking senator, for Christ's sake. You are supposed to be the epitome of reason.
The Republicans went to an all-time low over the last 7 years as far as childish behavior.
Well, I would back it up
Bonner shit.
I would back it up even further than that, all the way to the, when George Bush. I'd back it up even further than that when they were trying to impeach Clinton for getting a blowjob, for Christ's sake.
Right.
But their next candidate can come in, completely lie to us and destabilize the Middle East, and then we're completely allow the banks to fall apart, hand us the biggest recession this place has seen since the Depression, continue for the next 8 years, blocking any bit of reasonable solutions to anything. No universal health care, no anything that works. We're going to deport 11 million people, and you want us to reelect you.
Yeah.
You're not going to do your job. You just went on air and said, we're not going to do the job you elected us to do. But please please send us back here for another 4 years or 8 years.
Right.
Are you fucking kidding me?
Well,
are you fucking kidding me?
So they've come out and said that they're not going to try to elect or appoint or whatever the word is.
They've gone so much further.
So they're not going to try to put in their own justice.
This is what he said. Okay. This was posted by the Washington Post. I believe the author of it was Jennifer Bendery.
What's the title?
Mitch McConnell voted to confirm a Supreme Court justice in Reagan's final year. Okay. So the hypocrisy of this guy has no bounds. Okay. All right. Barely an hour after the news broke Saturday of the death of Supreme Court Anton Scalia, Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell of Kentucky made it clear that he has no intention of letting President Obama replace the conservative icon. The American people should have a voice in their selection of their next Supreme Court justice. In that statement, therefore, this vacancy should not be filled until we have a new president. Now, it clearly states in the Constitution that these jerk-offs seem to want to wrap themselves around, that the president's job is to appoint the Supreme Court justices.
Yes. Well, his job is to continue to govern until the very last day of his office.
Correct.
And so since this happened over the weekend or whenever this guy passed away,
Saturday,
it's his job to get on it immediately and fill the spot.
Yes.
No,
Correct.
I mean, right?
Because, yes, so that the country can keep moving.
Yes.
So that stuff in lower courts gets heard by the Supreme Court. So the final decision can be made. So the laws can be
Why
enacted.
put everything back 300 days? Or longer.
Yeah.
Because it's not going to happen the first week the president gets
No.
elected.
They're talking about, but here's what kills me.
Okay. Which has got you fired up today.
Yeah, because he runs around saying that for the last 80 years, we've never allowed a lame duck president to elect a Supreme Court justice.
Is that true?
No! Fuck no, it's not true. Okay. Not only is it so not true, Mitch McConnell himself voted in Reagan's last year, to put, and this was in 88, to confirm Anthony Kennedy, as a Supreme Court justice in Reagan's final year.
Yeah.
So where the fuck do you...
Strategically, the conservatives, or rather the liberals, would absolutely want to push someone through.
Of course, because Obama's going to assign them. More than likely, they're going to be a little more liberal than some radical right wing. But again, it's not so much... That's not what's pissing me off, okay?
Okay.
What's pissing me off is their absolute passion to disallow even a vote to go forward. Because who's putting it forward?
That is so
Dude,
childish.
How the fuck do you get away, America? How do we let them get away with not doing their fucking jobs?
Yeah.
Okay, if you hired a plumber to come to your house and he walked in and he went, "Yep, it's broken. I ain't gonna fix it." And as a matter of fact, I'm gonna call everybody in the trades to tell them also to not come fix it.
Right.
You wouldn't fire him. You'd beat him in the fucking head with a bat, for Christ's sake.
Yeah.
How do you...
And why isn't that a question that's asked to people at debates? Are you going to vote with some semblance of maturity based on the issue, not by who's putting it forward or which party it's attached to? Why aren't questions asked like that at a debate?
Well, okay, I got a question for you. You obviously watched the debates.
I did. I watched the Republican debate for some reason.
Okay.
The GOP debate.
Well, you have to. You
don't, Stephen. You know what?
Because these are one of the idiots they're going to put forward to run the fucking country.
But here's the problem. Let me just tell you about one of my pet peeves with these debates.
Okay.
There's such a ridiculous way to try to find the information that you want from your candidate, right? Like during this type of scenario where you and I are doing a podcast, we're kicking it in your kitchen, we're just recording our views.
Correct.
I can go deep into your mind and find out where you really stand on an issue.
Correct.
If I put you up on a screen with 6 other squares and put you in one square, like the beginning of the Brady Bunch or something, and let you speak for 30 seconds and then ring a bell and told you to shut the fuck up and let the next guy speak, I can't ever get any information. Correct. From these debates. It's the worst forum.
It is entertainment television.
It's weird. It's fucking weird. Well, let the guy make a point. Why is there a timer on these people? Why is it such a strange...
Well, because if there wasn't, you'd have idiots like Cruz and Trump and Rubio just rattling and rattling and rattling and rattling. And
I don't want that either. Out
of all of them, did any of them impress you at all? Because there is a Republican candidate out there I am extremely impressed with. Extremely. Okay?
I'm biased, I guess. I've been so turned off by the Republican Party ever since, the early 2000s.
Right on.
When they sit up there and they talk about having a strong military, but they believe in God, and it just blows my mind that this is the kind of person you'd want leading you.
What, the one that talks completely out of both sides of their fucking face?
I just don't see how the two go together. I think it's just such a contradictory party.
Well, again, the fact that we as a country, have limited in reality, our ability to bring a candidate forward unless they're part of one or two of polar opposite parties. Okay? Is a mind blower. And you can blame the media a lot for that, but you can also blame money in politics a lot.
Well, when they talk like in these debates about ISIS, I don't even think ISIS is an issue. I think it's made up by the media.
Oh no!
To feed this military machine that has to have an enemy.
Okay, but again, don't kid yourself. Okay, because the Khmer Rouge was real.
Well,
and they killed millions and millions of people under an ideology. Okay? And Stalinism was real.
I don't believe in any of that, though.
What do you mean, that it didn't happen?
No, I just believe that every human being is basically the same. And there's a human being just like you in Iraq or India or some other country that looks different than you but still has the same priorities in life. To be happy, to have a good job, to have a nice home, to have a warm bed, to be loved, to
make
eat
sure
good
your children
food.
are safe.
We all have these priorities in life.
Pretty
basics. And so everything else is man-made.
Oh, yeah.
The whole story behind these people want this and they want this and they're our enemies is all made up. And so when they talk about these issues in a debate, I just giggle to myself that these people even think this is an issue. When they talk about gay marriage as an issue, how is that a fucking issue? It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It's not an issue. So let's stop talking about it.
Yeah.
Well, let's ask the question: will you vote for a democratic idea?
Yeah.
Why can't we ask that?
Yeah.
What are we going to do about the dollar? It has 2% of its value.
Yeah.
What are we going to do about the 19 trillion deficit? You don't have 20 seconds. You have as much time as you need to give me your answer. So I can decide if I want to vote for you.
Yeah.
I mean,
because more tax cuts for the rich, okay, I'm sorry, ain't getting it fucking done.
And then we talk about tax cuts for the rich. Let's play with a different money. Let's play with a money that works.
Well,
and maybe everything I'm talking about is too radical. But that's what's going through my mind when I sit there and watch these debates.
Well, no, what kills me is the fact that we, as a huge industrialized planet, because to say that we're an industrialized nation and that we are a fucking industrialized planet, and there are areas of this planet where we have denied industrialization and denied education based on religious whatevers.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, that's great that you brought that up, because why don't we better utilize the planet?
That would mean we'd have to all get along. It would also mean, but
why
again,
can't we?
Because our basis of our entire political system in the United States is there's only so much, and I have to keep. Capitalism is based on that. That I control it all.
The fear that there's not enough is bullshit.
Absolutely.
Population is only a problem that's 100 years old. It only takes 100 years to solve. We could put some legislation forward now to control population 100 years down the road that wouldn't affect us or our kids or anything. Right?
Well, what, like the one-child policies?
I don't know. I'm not a population scholar, but all I know is it's not some problem that can't be solved.
Absolutely.
You first have to have a dialogue about it.
Yeah, that's the issue, Tommy. Right there is our politicians' complete inability to have a dialogue about anything that they don't.
Well, that's it, and that's why it's so hard for me to look at conservatives, and I don't want to pick on them because I used to be one for most of my life. Mm-hmm. But you can almost tell exactly what a conservative is going to say about any issue just by watching Fox News. Because they're all like drones to that same shit.
Why do you think that is?
I don't know.
Really?
It all just
you
seems
don't
like
know?
A game show.
It's because you have a very small handful of people giving money to the political people that run the country. And if they step out of line and don't say exactly what their handler said they should say, they don't get the money. And if they don't get the money, they don't get reelected. Okay?
Yeah, I'm aware of that.
All right,
James.
but if
we talked
what
about
you'll
that
notice,
really in depth in our second show.
okay, but if you
about
look,
being a career politician, right?
yes, well, no, not even so much that we Citizens United and the ability to have unlimited amount of funds going into political election campaigns that are anonymous, okay, is one of the most dangerous pieces of legislation that you can enact. Because basically what you're saying is, I can anonymously buy a politician. Okay?
Yeah, right.
Now, if that politician chooses to not say what I want him to say, I won't give him any more money. And as a matter of fact, I'll go out of my way to fund a different candidate's campaign that will do and say exactly what I say. It's why the Koch brothers spend so much money. That's why Bernie Adelson spends so much money. That's why all these secret, quiet, closet guys spend billions of dollars on elections. It's to be able to manipulate the legislation to go their way.
Sure.
Or worse yet, this is truly what I believe, okay? I believe their goal isn't necessarily to influence legislation. I believe their goal is to disrupt it, to make it so it's impossible to enact a new law, so it's impossible to get any real significant change done. Because right now, the system, the way it's geared, is geared real well to the money flowing to the top. Why would you want that to change if you were the one benefiting from it? You wouldn't.
In my opinion, it's a smoke and mirrors campaign, and every issue is different. And I can tell you, in my opinion, what I think Monsanto's did to get around a lot of bullshit that they were fighting for. To make GMOs and things like that in the food that no one really wants, but they were able to push it through.
What, you mean because all of the legislators that should have been standing up and saying this isn't okay voted to let it go through? Or better yet, had quiet meetings and just passed legislation without even putting it to a vote? You mean stuff like that, Tom?
Right. Well, in my opinion, what they did is they pushed forth that issue about putting things on the label. And they let the other issues about putting it in the goddamn food slide right through.
You bet.
I mean,
oh, yeah.
I don't give a shit what's on the fucking label.
Yeah, exactly. yeah. There's a big thing. As long as it's on the label, you can eat it.
Right.
Right.
But then, I've also, on the other side of that coin, on the whole Monsanto's issue, realized that, a lot of things are modified. Have you ever, an example, I guess, is corn. Corn didn't look anything like corn when corn first came out. It was like a thistle. It looked almost like wheat. Mm-hmm. And through all this modification over and over and over, it's become the corn that we know. Which has
almost no good food quality to it at all.
Well, that's not true, because there's a lot of different varieties of sweet corn, and there's cattle corn, and there's deer corn, and there's corn.
And here's some reality of corn that I've noticed that has always made me go, What I love corn, don't get me wrong. Mm-hmm. I love corn chips. Sure. I love all the wonderful things that corn brings us. But I am definitely curious that when I get done eating an ear of corn, and the next day when I get up from the can and I look down and went, yep, whole kernels all the way there. Your body's really not breaking that shit down real well.
Your body's not designed to. That's the beauty of nature, is that seeds aren't designed to be broke down intestinally, so that birds can carry them and spread them around the planet.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Okay.
There's like an enamel on every seed.
So you mean that if I was actually pooping in the woods, I might grow corn?
Well, if you chewed slower and didn't swallow them whole, they would break down in your intestinal tract.
Well, there's that. All right. Anyway, let's get off the whole corn thing.
Okay. So listen, Valentine's. I hope you took a girl out.
Actually, she took me out this year.
Nice.
She went out and we went out to the Greyhound Park and they had the dancing thing going on there. We saw Tuxedo Junction, a local big swing band. We listened to all that good 40s and 50s music and, danced it up and had a really good time. And then yesterday did a lot of nothing, we went out for breakfast in the morning, which was... we went to 5 different places. Each one of them had an hour wait. Mm-hmm. we live in a small town, dude, okay?
Yeah.
You know?
Coming out on Friday night.
Yeah, so finally we got some breakfast, and then we came back and, looked at each other and said, hey, what do you want to do? And it was, hey, let's put our sweats on, watch movies, hang out, and don't answer the phone.
There you go.
And I went, that was a fabulous. Then we were going to go out to dinner, and then I remembered the excursion of the morning, and I went, how about if I just go to the store and buy some steaks, and I'll cook for you? Because she took me out for the night before, so I cooked for her. And she's, here is some, you've been with Amy now for 17 years.
Yeah.
Jerry and I have been together 16, roughly. I mean, we've split up, for a little bit, but for the most part, she and I have been together since 2000. Mm-hmm. Okay.
That's when we got married, April 2000.
I have friends right now that have been in relationships 15, 16 years and things, and it's not going wonderfully for them. And in some cases, they're splitting their relationships up. And I hope the best for them.
That's sad to hear.
It is sad to hear, but there's some adages out there that if you're not happy, then you should do what you do to change it. But it's hard to be happy with someone. All right? I love my brothers and my sisters, and we're fucking related. All right?
Yeah.
And I can't tell you how many times I have wanted to wrap my hands around their throats and choke the living daylights out.
Yeah, well, that's every family.
Yeah. So if anyone out there thinks that, being married is just this honeycomb ride of joy and wonderfulness.
It takes some work. It takes some effort.
Yeah, it does.
You got to put forth.
And sometimes, because we're humans, we're just shitty. You wake up feeling shitty that day. You're in a bad mood.
It's true.
You just want to and you rag out at everybody and stuff like that and just lash out. And, if you can be with someone that can kind of get past that and go, yeah, they're just being a dick today. Hang on to them, man. Because,
did you do, well, I guess you didn't, because you just told me what you did, but we went and did the wine, chocolate, music thing on Main Street.
No, we...
That's what we did, Amy and I.
We skipped that.
That was on Friday, I believe.
Friday, we had the big wine and chocolate Windermere fundraiser. Yeah. We raised a bunch of money for boots and socks and stuff like that, which was a gas. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, we should have done that with you.
You could.
I know. You
I
gave me a
invited
voicemail weeks ago, and I never replied about it.
That's all right.
But anyway, we did that thing downtown where you go from shop to shop to shop.
And how was that?
That was great. Yeah, we started.
And good for the shops, too.
Yeah, we started down at the high numbers, 10th Street, and worked our way down Main Street till we got to about 3rd Street. Then we went in the Eagles.
Nice. Yeah, and sometimes when you stagger to the Eagles, you trip over. Last stop.
Well, so what's all the deal with becoming a member in there? What do you have to do? We picked up an application.
Good.
So don't you have to answer a bunch of questions?
No, God, Tony, how well do you know me?
Is there some kind of anal penetration?
I'm asking you a very serious question before these ridiculous questions come out of your mouth. Okay? Here's the question. You've known me for years.
You have to put a goat head on during any part of that?
Do you see me debasing myself for anybody, for any fucking reason?
I weird out on things like that, like the Masons and the Elks and the Eagles.
And I go back to my original question.
Yeah.
Okay? Do you see me, someone you've known for years, with the opinions and attitudes that I have, debasing myself for anyone?
No.
Okay.
I don't.
All right. Now, this is an organization that I am very proudly to be a member of.
I know you are.
Okay.
So we want to be members because we love it.
Then what you need to do is during the orientation, you go and you listen to what's being asked of you. And just like any other organization that requires more of you than just showing up and drinking in a bar.
Yeah.
Okay. Because fidelity, charity, your willingness to work with your brother, your willingness to be part of the community.
Yeah.
Okay. Are all part of being an Eagle. Now, as an Eagle, I do not and will not ever reveal what happens in those chambers. Okay. Other than to say this. First off, Do you see a fucking goat around big enough to carry my weight? Okay? And secondly, do you ever see me riding a fucking goat? Okay?
I always think about that orgy in Eyes Wide Shut.
Exactly. Okay, do you see me? Dude, you've seen, no, ever,
Okay.
not, you know.
Okay.
No one's ever going to come up behind me and, no, dude, no, ever.
All right. So anyway, we did that. We had a couple drinks.
You should become a member, too. It's a good club.
Okay. And then we went over to our little place we get tapas called Satay.
No satay well.
Yeah, it's great.
Fun play, great
so
little place to eat.
we got some little mushrooms with some kind of sea bass in them, and we got some tuna tartare and something.
Seasons also, if you want a good date night.
Yeah.
Okay, is a fun little place to go,
Sure.
and you can go and eat and dine, and for you and your woman, be out of there for under $40, which is nice, especially in this town.
We usually go there. We go there often. It's just that this event was going on
Sure.
on Main Street, so it kept us over there.
Sure.
And then, once you start drinking, you want to get closer to home.
If you're smart.
So it's way out there on 4th.
All right,
You know where it is.
yeah, Coeur d'Alene's a fun town.
Yeah.
Great little town.
Right.
Be nice if they actually put as much effort into finding good businesses to move out here.
Well, it's weird because a lot of that happened when I was here the first time I lived here from 2000 to 08. A lot of businesses were drawn here, like OxyFresh and...
Do you know why a lot of them left?
I do not. Did a lot of them leave?
Some of them, yeah.
Huh.
One of the problems that they found is an underqualified and undertrained workforce.
Huh.
They tried real hard to get Micron or one of the heavier, bigger software-oriented
Yeah, well, that's a
companies
great employer for a town.
to come out, and they said thank you, but no thank you, because you as a state don't spend enough money educating your student base
In technology.
or any